adopt.
Right.
Policy.
Yeah, that's, okay, excellent. Okay. New business. And I guess, Emily, I know Nick Thomas has had to resign from the board due to IT difficulties in coming in. So we certainly appreciate his service to the board.
Yes, definitely.
As I mentioned before, I mean, if I could vote no, I would, but.
Yeah,
but
he's certainly welcome back.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. And there is because Nick was the chair of design review, we need a new chair for the design review committee. And the recommendation from the staff is to appoint Lynn Dennis. She has agreed. So,
Reluctantly.
are there any other nominations out there that anyone would like to put forward?
Lynn.
If not, yeah. I've never heard of that happening, but I want to officially have to do it.
Do we need a motion?
We need a motion and
I'll motion for Lynn.
I'll second it.
we have a motion and a second to nominate Lynn Dennis as chair of the DRC. And all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Mhm. I only ask that you please be present for each one, because if you're not. Okay.
I just might have to miss one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got practice last month.
no.
Yeah. And then further to, we need to add a replacement member to the DRC, and the recommendation of staff is to appoint Landis Fleming to the Design Review Committee. And
I'll make a motion that we appoint Landis Fleming to the Design Review Committee.
And I would second.
we have a motion and a second. Hopefully that he will agree to this, but all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations,
Thank you.
and welcome to Design Review. That's the fun committee.
Nice to look down on things.
Dan got the short agenda group.
I did, yeah. You can see how I'm getting warmed up to this and going through it quick, so. Is there any other new business that anybody has to bring to the board? If not, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make,
We have a motion and a second to adjourn, so all in favor?
aye.
Opposed? And we will next jump to the Design Review Committee.
Thank you, and be patient with me as moving into a new role. Call the meeting of the Design Review Committee of the Historic Preservation Board, December 17th, 2020 to order. And we'll take a roll call. Lynn Dennis, present. Dan Fowler.
Present?
Landis Fleming.
Present.
Jeremy Moses, absent. Christopher McMacken.
Present.
Melinda Rinker.
Present.
John White.
Present.
Very good. All right, hopefully you've had time to review the minutes from last month's meeting. Are there any corrections?
I would make a motion that we adopt the minutes as distributed.
Second? Anyone?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to accept the minutes from the November 19th meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I'm holding off. 'cause
All
I was-
opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. And Emily, you want to update us on the certificates of review administratively approved?
Yes, so between November 17th and December 7th, there were 12 cases, all fairly routine, fences, some window replacements, that kind of thing. I'd be glad to answer any questions that you have about that list.
Any questions from the committee?
None here.
Very good, thanks, Emily. And we move on to the consideration of certificate of review applications. We have 2 today. This will be the public hearing portion of the meeting. And the first case is HPB 20-197, 1130 West Marjorie Street. Final approval is requested for the new construction of a single-family house on the property at this address. The owner is Merlin Properties of Central Florida LLC. The applicant, Ms. Yulisa Parama, Paramount Building Services of Florida. Okay. Emily,
Oh, we need to ask if there's any
is
conflicts.
there a representative here?
I believe so.
Yes.
But we also need to ask if there's any conflicts of interest on
I'm
the
sorry,
committee.
thank you. Any conflicts of interest on the committee?
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Okay.
All righty. This PowerPoint is slow. Okay. The subject property consists of one lot of record and is 0.15 acres in area. An improved alley exists along the southern or rear boundary of the subject property. While this lot is a historically platted lot in the Lake Hunter Terrace Historic District, it had been combined legally with 1134 West Marjorie Street, which is Lot 9 to the west, and was split from this lot in 2017. The applicant proposes to build a single-story, single-family house on the subject property, which will have 1,809 square feet of living space. This home features a bungalow aesthetic expressed by a front gabled roof and front porch supported by square columns with simple capitals and bases. Wow, this PowerPoint is really slow. And this slide just shows a floor plan of the home. So materials proposed for the new house include a concrete stem wall with 21-inch foundation above grade and smooth textured stucco on the foundation, hardy plank lap siding with cedar mill wood grain texture and a 6-inch exposure, and hardy panel vertical siding in the front porch gable, hardy trim casing and trim with a smooth texture, vinyl single hung sash windows with a 1/1 light configuration. Windows will be recessed to provide a shadow line and will not be installed flush to the exterior wall surface, a fiberglass quarter light front door and a fiberglass 2-panel rear door, asphalt architectural shingles on a 5/12 pitch roof, hardy material fascia and vented soffit, finished concrete floor and steps on the front porch with hardy trim columns, and then the exterior paint color palette you can see there, and it's basically a blue, beige color, and then a greenish gray color. The site plan proposed for the new house shows orientation of the home's front facade towards West Marjorie Street with 2 parking spaces located in the rear yard and accessible from the alley. The proposed building setbacks do meet the Land Development Code's urban neighborhood standards. And this request was evaluated using the standards and guidelines referenced. So adjacent to the subject property along West Marjorie Street exist several single-family, 1-story houses that exhibit the bungalow, frame vernacular, and modern masonry vernacular styles. Staff finds that the proposed new house is similar in massing and scale to contributing bungalow and frame vernacular houses throughout the Lake Hunter Terrace Historic District. The building form, scale, and proportion of architectural elements, including roof pitch and floor-to-ceiling height, is compatible with adjacent structures. So staff finds that the proposed new house is similar in massing and scale to contributing bungalow and frame vernacular houses throughout the neighboring historic district. Staff also finds that the proposed materials are consistent with residences in the surrounding neighborhood and the design guidelines. The design of the house features a neo-traditional style that is compatible with the architectural character of the district. Elements such as the gable front porch with simple columns, lap and vertical siding, and 1/1 windows are consistent with the historical architectural styles found in the neighborhood, as well as the design guidelines. Fenestration and trim are also compatible. And while not included in the staff report, staff notes that corner boards were not included in the design of the home, but are suggested to be used on the proposed house, as corner boards have been used on other neo-traditional and bungalow-styled new houses in all of our historic districts. And finally, the proposed placement of the house on the lot is consistent with the design guidelines and urban form standards in terms of orientation, building setbacks, foundation height, porch depth, and placement of parking. So with that, staff recommends final approval of the request as submitted.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
Does the applicant have anything to add? Very good. Is there any public comment? Questions from the committee?
Yes, you mentioned the corner boards. Is that the as submitted or?
Because I didn't give a condition and I already published the staff report, I'm recommending approval as submitted and leaving the corner boards up to the applicant as a suggested change.
Highly suggested.
Are there any other questions? If not, this will close the public comment portion or the public portion of this discussion. If there is any discussion from the committee, say now.
I have a question to Emily, really. The setback, you mentioned that it meets land development code. More importantly, does it match the setback of the existing structures on each side?
Yes, it is consistent with the adjacent structures.
Because, you know, there's a glitch in the land development code
Right,
that I hope is repaired quickly, but that's another story.
right.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
I also had a question about the corner boards. Can we make it a condition of our approval then? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion? Is there a motion?
I would make a motion that we approve it as submitted with the following exception, that we ask that the corner boards be added to the design.
Is there a second?
Yes.
One of the 4 corner boards.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll move on to our second and last certificate of approval for today, HPB 20-204-1805 Comanche Trail. Final approval is requested for an accessory dwelling unit at this address. The owner is Mr. Robert Farley, and the applicant is Mr. Daniel Sherritt, Sherritt Construction. Are there any conflicts of interest from the committee? Hearing none, may we have the staff report and recommendation?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. So, let's see. I can advance this. There we go. The subject property consists of one interior lot of record measuring 60 feet wide by 130 feet deep and is 0.18 acres in size. This property contains a house built circa 1927 that is a contributing building in the Beacon Hill Historic District. The house, which features elements of the frame vernacular, four-square, and prairie architectural styles, is a 2-story structure with a hipped roof and a hipped front porch and porte-cochere supported by square columns on stuccoed plinths. This home also features novelty wood lap siding, corner boards, a wide overhanging eave with frieze board, and double-hung sash windows in both 6/1 and 8/1 divided light configurations. The applicant's request proposes to construct a 1-story ADU consisting of 413 square feet of living area. The ADU is proposed to be typical wood frame construction and will have a gabled roof with a 4/12 pitch. Hardy plank lap siding with an exposure matching the house is proposed to clad the ADU and will also feature hardy material window and door trim and corner boards. Windows are proposed to be single hung sash windows with a 6/1 and 4/1 simulated divided light configuration, and the fiberglass exterior doors will have a solid 6-panel appearance. A gabled roof front porch is proposed on the east elevation at the entry door and is supported by simple square wooden columns on stuccoed masonry plinths. The site plan submitted with the application shows building setbacks of 5 feet from the interior side and rear property lines. And this request was evaluated using the standards and guidelines referenced here. In evaluating the request with the standards, staff finds that the ADU does not disturb the spatial relationships of the principal house, and the essential form and integrity of the existing house is maintained. New but similar materials will be used on the ADU, which will be complementary in nature to the design of the house. In evaluating the request with the design guidelines, staff finds the materials of the proposed ADU reflect the materials of the house and are consistent with the design guidelines. Staff also finds that the design of the structure's trim, windows, door, and roof pitch and overhang to be consistent with the design guidelines, as well as simple in design and subordinate to the subject house. The ADU is appropriately placed at the rear of the subject property. Consistent with Beacon Hill's development patterns, accessory dwellings are commonly found in most of the city's residential historic districts in both historic and contemporary form. So as the request meets the standards and guidelines, staff recommends final approval of the request with the following conditions to be approved by staff prior to the submission of the building permit. Number 1, windows must not be installed flush with the wall plane. Number 2, windows must have exterior mounted muntins or a grid in the upper sashes. And number 3, a small square capital should be added to the front porch columns with proper alignment to the upper beam. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I don't see a representative present.
No, he's not here today.
Okay. Is there any public comment on this request? And we won't have any questions since the applicant isn't here. So this will end the public comment section of this review. And we'll move to committee discussion. Any discussion on the committee by the committee members?
Yes. So the main house faces Comanche Trail?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to figure out where is the accessory building?
You see the site plan?
Yeah.
So looking at this picture, you can see on the left side of the screen is the front of the house in Comanche Trail. So it's going to be directly behind the house. There actually used to be a detached garage where that ADU is proposed to be placed, and that was demolished probably about a year ago.
And if I read the drawing right, the front door is facing their driveway on the property?
Yes, correct. Yep.
I was just kind of curious about that, because lot 7, it's open. That's what threw me at first.
Right.
Yeah,
And so I was like, what direction is the house facing? Because there's a curb, there's not a driveway there on lot 7, so,
Right.
right? And I don't know if the owner owns the adjacent lot or not, but
Emily, I have a question.
Sure.
Is the setback going to be far enough back if they do end up splitting that lot 7 off in the future?
That is a good question. And yes, it is. It's set back 5 feet from the property line, from that interior side property line, which is the minimum building setback required.
It's been a very popular move in Beacon Hill recently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that lot will be split off.
Emily, I don't know if I misheard you, but those are hip roofs everywhere, and I think you said gabled on
Did I say
at
gabled?
least one occasion, but,
I apologize if I misspoke.
Yeah.
They are on the roof.
okay.
Any further discussion? Do I hear a motion?
I would move approval of the application with the specific conditions outlined by the staff to be approved by the staff.
Second?
Any discussion? And we'll call for the vote. And we'll do a roll call vote, which I probably should have done last time. Lynn Dennis, yes. Dan Fowler?
Yeah, yes.
Landis Fleming?
Yes.
Jeremy Moses, absent. Christopher McMacken?
Yes.
Melinda Rinker?
Yes.
And John White.
Yes.
And it is approved.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And that was for us, a very brief meeting. Is there any other business that we should be considering? Any comments?
I just want to wish everyone Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you for all of
That
your
was good.
work this year.
Thank you. It's been an incredibly tough year for you all, and we appreciate you making this happen
Thank you.
and keeping us rolling along. All right, do I hear a motion for adjournment?
So move.
Second?
All in favor? Say aye. All opposed? And we are adjourned.
Thank you.
I'll stay here forever with y'all.
I know. Because we're in the Christmas spirit, and this is, yeah.
Emily, have a question.
Yeah.
Let's